We make a good band.
Are we starting a band?
Welcome to the Holy Hour. I'm Amelia Sampson.
And I'm Liz Ball.
And this is Grandpa for everybody watching on the tube.
Excited to be here, be sitting between us.
He has a lot of topics today.
Supervising.
Yeah, he's making sure the levels stay leveled. Grams. Yeah, he knows.
He's doing a good job.
He's been training his whole life for this moment. How old is he?
He is 6.
He has 6 years of experience.
Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving.
Oh.
He's like, I don't want to
big
be
leap.
perceived, which is...
He's like, he's checking the lighting now.
Yeah.
He was checking the sound before. Now he's checking the lighting.
He does it all, folks. Before we transition, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at The Holy Hour. Email us your spashy stories and say hello and give us compliments at hoelyhourpodcast@gmail.com. Join our Patreon for early access and ad-free episodes, but also you can join if you just want to show us some love. If you are able to, that's super great. Join the Discord. And we just like hearing from you, even if we don't respond, because we're busy. We have jobs, but
unfortunately, we would love if this was our full-time job.
Which
we'd
brings
give
me back
you
to
guys
Patreon.
So much fucking content if we could do this full-time.
I think about that all the time. Speaking of which, check out our merch.
Oh, yes, our summer girl merch, our hot girl summer merch.
It's also great for not just summer.
Yeah. When I got my nails painted, so they're hot pink, neon pink, and they glow in the dark, but I got them fully feeling like they would look great with our merch.
Yeah, that is the color.
Yeah. So, and I've just been seeing the Barbie clips, and that is what I was envisioning for our merch. So
perfect.
That's what I feel like it's giving. It's giving Barbie. It's giving Margot Robbie as Barbie.
Yes. Ryan Gosling as Ken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You could be Barbie and Ken in our merch.
It's up to you. Follow me on everything at Amelia Sampson.
You don't have to follow me. I'm miserable. But if you want to, I am Liz Ball So Hard on TikTok and Instagram, and Liz T Ball on Twitter, where you can catch me asking Republicans questions about guns.
How are you?
I'm all right. I had 4 days off in a row, and you know how I was having heart palpitations? They finally went away.
Oh, good.
So it turns out not working and having a few days off.
Wow.
Just really did me good.
Don't need a PhD for that one.
And I still talked to 2 different doctors.
Yeah,
about how I feel.
I was having palpitations for a while, and I had to wear a heart monitor around for 6 weeks.
That's fun.
It was taped right here, and it's
just ignore him.
It's me. It's so hard. He's so cute. It's me, so I'm I wear a lot of low cut shirts, so it looked like I was trying to show off that I had a heart. You know how girls go to the hospital and wear their hospital bracelet around for a while, so people ask. I
they
felt like
do?
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
It was a high school thing.
Oh. Hey,
he's making sure it's all in focus.
Do you mind?
He's just checking her. He's doing his job, Liz. Liz and I went out on Friday. We had a bit of a girls' night.
I threw up, if anyone was wondering.
She did. She got a little crossy-crossed.
Yeah. Word to the wise. Don't get crossfaded.
And eat before you go out.
Yeah. If you get crossfaded, eat something. You know what does me in?
Anyway.
It's when I drink before I do have an edible or smoke. So I need to do the edible first and then just sip a bevy.
Yeah. Yes.
I sometimes you just need a good reminder though.
Yeah, that's
true. I haven't
true.
puked in a while.
That was a wake up call. You puked on my birthday.
Yeah, that was more of like
to.
I just made myself do it. I didn't really like need it. I was like, maybe this will help.
And then it didn't.
No.
Oh.
And I was like that, but it also helped me calm down. I was like, okay, it didn't help. I'm just a little too high.
Yeah. That's good. So it served a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my body is also just used to like when I throw up, I just have it in my head I'm going to feel better after. Yeah. So maybe it was a little bit of a mind thing.
Well, either way, it made you feel better.
On Friday, I was like, that was some real puking.
And you know, if it weren't for the weed and the alcohol, like the company, the people that we met out that night might have still made you throw up.
Yeah, they were pretty nauseating.
We talked to 23-year-olds for a while before realizing that they were racist Trump supporters.
What is wrong with young men? They were so insufferable, and I was like, maybe that age group has always been insufferable. Maybe I was just like too drunk to notice how much they sucked, or I don't know.
Yeah, I was really enjoying talking to the one that I was talking to before, like, you know, they like exposed themselves. Like, he was great. He wanted to be in sales, and that like really tracked.
Yeah.
And I told him up front, I'm like, you're way too young for me, but I'm enjoying talking to you, so like we're just gonna chat. And he was like, oh, okay. Boop, boop. So we were talking about like,
you guys don't look like you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And I was like, well.
And then he like
take a good look and fuck off.
He was like, "Oh, I would have guessed 25. Not that 30 is old." Like, that's a good catch. Yeah, I also gave him the name of this podcast, so he might be listening. But that was before I found out who he was. You know, you live and you learn. But so we're staying away from that bar. So we learned a lot that night.
Yeah, Mr. Liz was like, "Where were you?" And I was like, "I have no idea."
It's the worst bar. If you live in Seattle, this bar is called, we're going to get sued by this bar, but I don't give a fuck. It's called Kangaroo and Kiwi. If you're familiar with this area at all, you know to like stay away. But our friend wanted to go in, so we were like, oh, if anything, we'll have a good story. And all we got was bad stories.
Yeah.
And that's on trusting your gut.
It was great people watching.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Such good people watching.
Absolutely. Yeah. I ran into someone I knew, and then by the time I turned around, my friends were gone. That was a scary moment.
You followed her in.
She pulled me in.
Well, we were in the doorway, so we were just like, well, she'll find us. There's only one way to go.
I went outside and I did like a whole circle around the other side before going to the side that you guys walked off to. And it was like a king's night of like, I felt like everybody was like watching me, you know, because I looked lost. I looked like a kid that was like lost at the pool. It was like, hello, Liz. I was like calling you, but the phone wasn't ringing.
Oh no.
That was a scary. Where
are my friends?
Yeah, I felt like a lost child. I was like, can you guys talk over the PA so I can help me find my friends? But then once we found each other, it didn't get any less scary. So don't go to bars that you know you shouldn't go to.
I'm remembering that we took a shot, and
oh my God,
I don't like shots.
The friends we were with are shot people.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we're gonna take a shot, I have been over shots for a long time.
Yeah. You see, I went through a shot. I feel like I'm exiting my shot phase. I'm the kind of person, like, I don't put any creamer in my coffee because first, like, it makes me feel like I'm consuming more caffeine, which is just not how it works. So taking shots feels like I'm consuming more alcohol, which is not true. You're consuming it faster, but I'm just like, this is more bang for my buck. It's not. You just end up feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And we took it at the bar. We ordered it, took it at the bar, and left the shot glasses at the bar. We took that fast.
And had other drinks.
Yeah, yes.
You had to get one to go outside, you know?
That was the rule?
No.
Oh.
We were like,
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the rule.
We need also a drink.
Yeah, we have to have something to hold.
A shot and a drink.
That was a wild night. I'm glad we've been hanging out more outside of
Me too.
Podcasting.
That's what I was telling my therapist today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to hang out with friends, and like, I don't know if any of the other girlies felt like this, but I was just like, I don't want to be around men right now because I was thinking about it more and more because I did have the opportunity to go to Hood with Mr. Liz and a couple of his guy friends who I do adore, but it was just like frustrating to know and be aware that men don't care about their women's rights being taken away because they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
They get the option to not care, and we don't. Like, I don't know. And when they were kind of like talking about like how the 4th of July is just shit because it's not very, we're all like not feeling very patriotic. One of them was like, yeah, it's a shitty time for women. I was like, it's a shitty time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like the way that white women are feeling now is like how people of color have felt always.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just like shitty.
Yeah, it really is.
So I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be around like white guys. I love that. I love my partner, and I love his friends, and it's just, it's different.
It feels good being around other women right now. Like when we were at Kangaroo and Kiwi, now that I've said the name, I'm just going to be saying it a bunch. Maybe I'm just going to call like everything that I hate Kangaroo and Kiwi.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good idea.
God, like my dinner last night was totally like Kangaroo and Kiwi.
You already don't like kangaroos.
Fuck kangaroos.
Do you like kiwis?
I love kiwi.
Me too.
You know what's really underrated? Pears. I've been thinking a lot about that lately.
Ooh, pears are
very
underrated
fruit. Super underrated. The best fruit, arguably.
Solid fruit.
Solid. What was I saying? Oh, being around women.
Yeah.
So I start talking about pears and I just
I was like, well, we can play it back.
I just go blank. I like there when we were at Kangaroo and Kiwi, we were sitting and talking about Roe versus Wade, and then these guys walked up, so it was like we were already
watched them point at us too, like, well, let's go talk to these girls, and I was just like,
here we go. It's like the last people we want to talk to right now. But like I have so much appreciation for, I have a lot of like mutuals on TikTok that are like, that have a big platform, that are men that are speaking up right now and not doing it in a way that's like virtue signaling, you know. They're not like, I have appreciated the men that have been messaging me like, hey, just checking in, like that means a lot, you know, rather than just like, this is an injustice, you know. It's like, no, I know we all think like that, we all feel that way. What are you gonna do? I like being checked up on, and then also like the men with platforms that are like using it to speak out and like yell at people that are like misinformed.
Yeah,
that feels good. There are way too many men that are like falling back into the like, well, this has nothing to do with me. So
yes, yeah. And I mean, I think we all recognize kind of like the same behavior, like pattern behavior, when there were just like a lot of Black Lives Matter protests and things like that. Yeah. And that can be hard too. Like there is a level of, I was watching something that was explaining like the levels of like accountability and like kind of like justice, and the bottom level is like, you shouldn't do this thing because you will be punished. That's basic, real basic. Like, I'm not going to do this bad thing because I don't want to get in trouble. Or I'm not going to do this illegal thing because I don't want to get in trouble. Or like when people are like, well, I shouldn't have been doing this illegal thing. And it's like, no. It's more complex than that.
Yeah.
Like, well, you shouldn't have had a fake $20 bill. That's not something worth losing your fucking life over. No. Anyways, but they were explaining like kind of the third level is where a lot of people get stuck, where they are doing what they think is good because they want other people to perceive them as good. They're not really thinking intentionally about, is this thing like a good thing and I believe it and I feel it?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So they'll treat other people who are doing positive things like they're virtue signaling because that person themselves, that's how they identify as like that's what they think doing the right thing is virtue signaling to other people that they're good, versus just like doing what is in the best interest of everybody for the sake of like safety and equality.
Yeah, totally. I know. And it's really tough, I think, as humans to like find that line too of like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for the right reasons? I took a psychology of motivation class in college, which is still like I swear it's like the only class I learned anything. I think about this class all the time. But one of the things that the first day of class, the professor was like, can you think of a human behavior that was not, that we didn't evolve with for a reason, that like wasn't adaptive? And somebody was like, philanthropy. And she was like, no, that was 100% a way that people belong and like try to like make themselves look like high and mighty and also like bond with other people. So it's like always kind of been a self-serving thing, regardless of like, yeah, it does help other people, like giving to charities helps a lot of people. And this isn't to say that like everyone's doing it just to like virtue signal, but it's interesting that like the psychology of philanthropy is like very much so around belonging. And I think that it's really difficult for us to recognize like, yeah, we do these things because we feel like it's right, but like it's tough to find that line between like, am I doing this because it's right, or am I doing this because I want to belong or like seem good? And that's tough because it's like that shouldn't stop you from doing anything, but I do think it's important to like look at what you're doing and try to like recognize why you're doing it.
Yeah, like screaming at people about masks. I'm like, wearing a mask doesn't make you a good person, makes you a smart person, but it does not mean that you are like the all-knowing, omnipotent decider of who is good and who is bad, because most people are just functioning at their best. Most people are trying their best. And when you think of like all of the things that go into, we've talked about this before, all of the things that go into your decision making, every moment of your life has led up to the decisions that you've made. So if you were in that person's shoes, born into their circumstances with their genetics and all of that shit, you'd probably make the same decisions as them.
Yeah.
Which also begs the question, do we even have free will? Bum, bum, bum. Anyways, I think about that all the time. I'm like, well, my entire background and upbringing, the people I'm around, and that's led to all my decision making. And if I had someone else's experiences, like I'd probably make the same decisions they made. And then that's why I'm like, wait.
It's just really interesting to think, like, it's been interesting specifically with the mask thing to watch how people are perceiving people wearing masks, because like in a lot of ways how that's
that was also just like kind of a random example.
No, but it like goes back to the like, are you doing this for the right reason? Because a lot of people were like, if anything, it's like a respect thing. It's like a community facing thing. And so that's another example of like a lot of the shit that we do is to like serve a community or like appear like you're serving a community. And then like the people that were like anti-mask, they're like trying to appeal to their community.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're like posting videos of them like yelling at people in fucking Walgreens. Well, I was just thinking, I had a friend in town who he's black. He leads a lot of Black Lives Matter protests in LA. And he was in Seattle, and we went to go get food, and I pointed to the restaurant we were going to. I'm like, oh, there's so many Black Lives Matter signs in the windows here. And he was like, yeah, it's so their windows don't get bashed in during protests.
Oh.
And I was like, how? But it was like every single window they had a Black Lives Matter sign, like every single one. And he's like, they do that shit. They do that shit so that they don't get like.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I know. And it's like, so that's another, it's like, you can be an ally, like your business can contribute to, and I don't know if they are or not doing other things other than just putting the signs in the windows, but it's like you can do other things besides like being like a Band-Aid ally. This is a good place to switch gears into the poem.
Okay.
So I found this poem on Twitter. Somebody posted it and they were like, just saw this poem, I stopped dead in my tracks, or something like that. And I was like, well, then I'm gonna read it. The poem's called The Day of Our Divorce Hearing. You treated me to lunch a spaghetti place. We had never been so kind to each other. When you said, I'm still a slob, we laughed. After lunch, we stood in the parking lot. You said, you have the last word. But I said, no, I'm tired of being the one who sums things up. You get the last word. But you couldn't think of one. So off you went to our silver cat, I to our red one. It's 3 years later, and even that's just a story now. Lately, I don't feel as if I lived with you, but I remember our kindness that day when it no longer mattered. Which I thought, I read this and I was like, holy fuck, because like there have been so many instances, in at least with me, where like I've gone through like a bitter kind of like ending with someone, and then like years later we're like so kind to each other, and it's like, where was that? Like, why weren't we able to be that way when it mattered?
Mm-hmm.
And like now we're able to just like treat each other like humans now that it doesn't matter anymore. And like that just like stuck with me. I read this poem like 2 months ago and I like haven't stopped thinking about it. But I hadn't ever thought about it until I read it, that like that's such a common experience for people, to like not to be so kind after the fact, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, we're just, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because I've been thinking a lot about like the closure. I've been having a lot of dreams about my ex.
I still am haunted by those kinds of dreams.
I fucking hate it. I've said
this
on
How do yours go? Let's talk about ex dreams real quick, and then we'll talk about closure type.
Yeah.
Like those, just kind of the bookend experience.
Yeah. My God, these dreams. At first, so when I first talked to I've probably said this on the podcast. When I first talked to my therapist about, I was like, I'm over it. You know, like, why am I still dreaming about my ex? And
that's how I feel too.
She was like,
because he traumatized you and he was part of your life for so long.
Yeah, right. That's basically, she was like, our dreams, she's like, we don't know anything about dreams, which is like the most frustrating part of dreams because you want answers. But she said, what we do know is that like our dreams, like they get constructed from a grab bag of our lives, and he was a huge part of your grab bag. So of course you're dreaming about him. She was like, the only advice that I have is like, pay attention to how you feel in the dream, because that's probably how you feel about the thing in real life.
When you told me that, that's exactly, I was like, that makes me feel better. Like, because a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, I texted Amelia that I was having dreams about Mr. Shoe Man. I can't even remember what his original.
Shoe Man. Bitch ass.
Yeah, bitch ass. I kept having dreams of, like, I'll have dreams that I'm with him again, and I am just like, wait, where's Mr. Liz? Like, I feel devastated, and I'm like, nothing will ever be as good as like Mr. Liz. I have never loved anyone as much as him. I get really upset because I'm like, how did I get into this fucking situation with this idiot again?
Yeah.
And then I always end up like leaving and looking for Mr. Liz. Like,
yeah, right. And that's, very telling. Yeah, totally.
Like, no, where's my safe person?
Because our brains,
who the fuck are you?
We can't distinguish between what's a dream and what's real life, which is so fucking funny. It's really, it's an interesting lens to look through. Like,
I definitely always get to that point too. Like, if I used to have like bad blood with someone, if enough time goes by where I've like grown and matured and I can think about it and I can just be like, yeah, it's water under the bridge now.
Yeah.
We're all human and make mistakes.
Well, you don't have any, like, it's not the same emotions tied to it.
Yeah. That's true. But then I never, like, reach out or anything.
Yeah. I mean, like.
I don't know. Have you done that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had my first ever boyfriend, which we were really young, but I was still, like, really hurt by that relationship. That was, like, my first experience with heartbreak. I was like.
I mean, just because you're young doesn't mean that
it doesn't
those feelings
matter.
Weren't real.
I was like very young. I mean, we were on and off for 5 years.
Oh, girl.
I know.
You were on and off for too long.
I know. But it was like, I didn't know any better. Like, I had nothing to compare it to, but I remember thinking, like, I'm never, ever going to get over this guy. I was like, and I said that, I was crying one night to my mom, and I was like, I'm scared I'm never going to get over him. And it's so funny to look back on. He has 2 kids now, and his wife is stunning and amazing, and they're so happy. And it's just like, I mean, we're older now, and there are different emotions attached to how we feel about each other, but it was like, we are so capable of being so kind to each other, but going back to the dreams, like, the dreams that I was having about my ex for a while were like, I haven't talked to him since he sent that email. I haven't even tried to talk to him. So it's been 2 years, almost 2 years. And I was having dreams that I accidentally texted him, and like my phone just like sent a text, and I was freaking the fuck out in the dreams. I was like, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to backslide. Like, what the fuck? And my therapist was like, you see, that's good. You don't want to backslide. Like, that's a good thing to know. Now what my dreams are is me and my ex get back together, and I'm afraid to tell everyone, and I'm like really comfortable and happy. And I was thinking about it because it's like, I wouldn't be comfortable and happy with him because I'm a different person now. I think what my brain is telling me is like, because I've been like seeking out that comfort. And like,
I have an idea.
Yes, Liz.
I think it's because you are in a place where you're ready to be in a relationship again.
Yeah.
And you want that kind of like when your relationship was safe, you're ready to open your heart again.
Yeah.
And that's what your brain is associating it with. Mine did that for a little while too.
It's just like not a great feeling. I wake up and I'm like, I miss that feeling of feeling comfortable, and then I'm like, wait, ugh, like I don't want to. Like, let's shake that off.
But him,
yeah, not him. But I was sitting on my roof, and my neighbors that live behind me, we have like a shared roof area. It's separated by a barrier, and I was sitting out there alone, and they were sitting there. They're together. And they were just like chatting about like nothing. And I was like, I just want to sit on this roof and like talk about nothing with someone. You know, it's like I miss that feeling in a relationship. And I think that both things can be true, that like you miss that in a very specific relationship and not miss the person.
Totally.
I think it's really tough to separate the two of those things.
Yeah.
And these dreams have kind of helped me realize. I mean, like I've known that like I wanted that comfort, but it's like that specific comfort of like really being comfortable with the person that you're with, you know, like and like really knowing them really well, and like not really trying to impress them anymore, just like having like conversations on a roof.
I totally know what you mean.
You know,
I'm the first time I ever felt like that in a relationship was really when I was like dating the Scorpio, who is problematic. More than a year has gone by and he hasn't bothered me. So
that's growth.
Progress for him.
Good job, Scorpio.
But like once we knew that we were eventually going to break up, because we were like, well, we don't want the same things for our future. And I think we both kind of just had a gut feeling like this isn't a forever thing. So once we knew that, it was like it had kind of fallen into like a very comfortable friendship.
Yeah.
So that was like, I'm thankful for that experience of having that first like kind of relationship where you can just be silly and have fun together, and like it's not that serious.
Yeah.
And
it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that it happened because we were like, yeah, we shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing to recognize.
Yeah.
That's a wild thing to come to terms with when you're like that, when both people come to terms at the same time. Like we should probably like not be doing this.
Yeah, well, we picked a breakup date. Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, we picked a day where we're like, all right, this is like, let's be done in July or something. And that's what we did.
Holy shit.
I think it was August, actually.
Oh my God. It's like, well, we're here.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Just like a handshake and you walk away.
It still sucked because for a couple weeks we were both like sad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I think
it's normal. You got used to spending so much time with one person.
Yeah. I have a friend who just broke up with his girlfriend, and it was like very much so just like a wrong relationship, and like it's good that they broke up and they both recognize that, and he's like, I miss her. I'm like, of course you do.
Yeah, you spend all that time with that person.
That's how I felt about Squints. Like me and Squints, that was the most amicable breakup. I still talk to his sister. Like we're like fine, you know. But it was really fucking sad after he left, and we were both so clear on it, just like not being like, we just shouldn't be doing this anymore. It's like, all right, well, cool, thanks for everything.
It's really hard when nothing's wrong. You just know that it's not for you.
Yeah. And then it's like you have this hole in your life. Yeah. You know? Like I would invite him to everything.
You're great and I love your company. It's just like, this isn't how I want to feel in a serious relationship. Right? Come here, Bean.
Yeah. I mean, that's the end of my thoughts on that.
I love that poem.
Me too. I was like, it's so simple. It was like, and it feels so obvious, but like, it's just like, oh fuck, that's a universal experience.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That we can be kind to each other when it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. And it's like, it does make sense on a lot of levels, because it's like I said, different emotions are tied to it. And also like, it's like mind blowing that is something that like a lot of people experience. Like it, I had just never like seen it put into words like that before, you know?
Do you wish that you could have that experience with anyone specific?
Yeah, actually the comedian and I we were never mean to each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was always fine. But I do wish that we had a friendship because like I don't know. I'm like so happy for where he's at in his life, but the feelings were like very like imbalanced. He had stronger feelings for me.
Yeah, because you were in a hard place. So I think it's going to take him some time to get there too.
If he ever gets there.
Yeah. I mean, because it hurts when you know that you're not the one in control of the relationship because the other person, like, isn't ready for it or doesn't feel the same way. But that doesn't mean, like, you're a bad person because of it.
Right.
You did care about him.
Yeah, I adored him.
He could show a little bit of empathy to understand, like, what a traumatic experience you were trying to push through. And instead he's like, I loved you and you didn't love me back and fuck you because of it.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks. Like, I understand it hurts your feelings, and I don't know what his experience was like, but I also, like, I can understand how both of you are have felt post.
Oh, I've been in his position so many times.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It blows, but it's like, and so because I've been in his position, I know that he's filling in a lot of blanks with his own context, and that's fine. And like, he's fine. He's like fucking thriving right now, which is great. And I'm so happy for him. And like, I think that if he hadn't been filling in that context and we would have just had a conversation about it, him and I would be friends.
Yeah. I do think that I notice often men have a harder time confronting that there needs to be a conversation had. Like, because no one likes confrontation. No one likes having to like have a hard conversation because you don't know how it's gonna go.
No.
And I think this is a result of a lot of things. You know, men aren't given the same kind of space that women are naturally given to express their feelings. So it's only natural that it's like harder for them to facilitate these conversations.
Yeah.
Whereas women are like, I think we kind of grow up knowing that there's an unspoken language between us and men, and I don't know. It's just a learned thing of observing people's behavior and how people don't always say what they mean, and like you said, filling in context clues. But our context clues are a little more in depth.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of that. You sent me a TikTok like months and months and months ago about like if women feel psychic, it's because they are. And it's like, it was talking about, there was much more to it than what I'm about to say, but it's just in the context of this conversation. Like, this video was talking about how women are taught to trust their gut and men are taught to like ignore their feelings.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they're feeling like, oh, this place is a little like sketchy, they're like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm brave. If like a place is a little sketchy, like, we've been taught to be like, all right, well, this has saved me in the past.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave. So yeah, it's just interesting to like recognize what
I hadn't considered that of like, no, you have to be a man, be brave, man up. Like, instead of like, this seems dangerous, let's leave.
Yeah, totally.
That's such a good point. Wow. There are a lot of people in my life that I would like to have this kind of closure with, but alas, I am stubborn.
Can you name one?
Oh yeah, I totally wish I could have like this kind of conversation with actually a girl I used to work with. That's one of the first people I thought of. Yeah. I like her as a person, but she fucking sucked to work with. She was awful. She made my life miserable because she was miserable. And
can't.
You know,
Misery
I would
loves
like
company.
to have a normal conversation with her now that I don't have to work with her, but whatever. It's water under the bridge now.
Yeah.
I would like if at some point, like any of my weird exes, if we could have a conversation like that. But To be honest, I just don't have a lot of faith that they have developed to that point.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, is like the development, and then also like them respect. Like it is going to have to take a lot of respect on the other person's end too.
Exactly.
I don't want to talk to my most recent ex because I have no evidence that supports that he respects me.
Yeah. Well, I had faith that the firefighter, like, we could at least have some kind of like respectful and like normal conversation. Like, yeah, we get along.
Yeah.
That's why we dated.
Right.
But you're married now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm dating someone, and I've changed. I don't feel the same way about you. And for him to be confused of like, oh, I get along with this woman, I have feelings for her, and now I'm confused. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we just have a normal conversation, and then you don't ask me to be in charge of if you cheat on your wife or not?
And that's what I think is it's so profound when you are able to get to the point where you can have a conversation with someone, because it takes two people to get to the same point of like, okay, we're like good, and now we can like be good. Because like you got there with the firefighter, and like he didn't. And no, so it can't happen. Grown. Yeah. It's like square peg round hole.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to have those, like, that kind of experience with at least one of my exes, but I just don't really think it will get there.
And sometimes that's okay. That's another thing.
It's that's like, the hard part. It's the hardest thing to accept. Is like, it might not ever get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks. I've been thinking, because I've been having all of these dreams, about how wild it is to know somebody so well and then to just go back to not knowing them. Like, we're just like strangers again now. That's the hardest part of breakups. It's like, oh, we're just going to pretend like none of that ever happened.
Yeah, that is hard.
It sucks.
That's what happened with me and the lawyer, but I knew that's like what he needed. Mm-hmm. He needed a lot of space.
Yeah.
And I knew that. And then I also needed just time to focus on myself. So when I broke up with him, it wasn't like I was just like, and I'm done with you and our relationship. It's like, I'm done with all relationships for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to date.
You seemed like so okay after that breakup.
I had broken up with him in my head months before.
Yeah.
I kept bringing it up to my coworker, and he's like, anytime you say it out loud, Liz, you're just making yourself feel better because your brain is already rewarding you just by saying it out loud. Because it's true. It's like, I'm going to go to the gym later.
That's profound.
So you're like, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym later. And then if you don't go, you still feel fine because you're like, I told people I was going to go to the gym.
Yeah, which goes back to the community-facing thing. Are you doing it for the right reason? Or are you doing it to look a type of way?
So he was like, you just need to do it because you're probably not going to change your mind. I tried to amend it, too. I was like, well, I just need to, like, talk to him about this, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, I just kind of realized, like, I didn't feel comfortable being myself around him. Mm-hmm. And, like, my expectations weren't really being met.
That's big.
Yeah. And it was stuff I felt like was obvious. Like, he took me on like a boat pregame thing before a football game. What's the team here? Dogs.
What? Oh, wolf. Yeah. Huskies.
Yeah, before Huskies
tailgate.
Game. Yeah, he took me to a tailgate. And he knew like a shit ton of people, and then I didn't know anyone, and I was like freezing my ass off, and then I was like, I'm so cold, I'm gonna go inside, and he was like, okay, bye. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I was expecting you to like at least want to hang out with me while I warm up.
Yeah.
I don't know,
for like 15 minutes. Like,
yeah,
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. But yeah, no, it's like, it really is. It's tough when it's like, it wasn't contentious like that, but you still can't really like come together to like come, you know what it's mm-hmm. like this. And again, I'm repeating myself now, but like, that's what's so amazing about when you are able to come together and be like, now we're kind to each other, because there's so much shit at play to have to get to that point.
Yeah. We were never unkind to each other.
No, exactly.
It just wasn't like,
it's just like, it was a fine breakup. Everything was fine, but like still, you just like haven't reconnected.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of the time you don't need to, but some people do, and some people have like kids between them, or like, you know, they're like going through a divorce, so they have to
see
worry
each
about
other.
all of that. Yeah. But sometimes it's like just nice to just be like, I don't really want there to be bad blood. There's no reason for there to be. Like, we were young and there doesn't need to be bad blood.
Yeah.
But if they like really fucked up, then like, you know, that's totally different.
Then you have permission to punch them in the dick.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
From us.
Yeah. That is not legally binding. Do not quote us.
I actually brought the contracts with me today. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's do a fun little bit that I cannot stop thinking about.
I love this.
So I have been following this account on Twitter called Incel Pickup Lines. Hold on, let me pull it up so we can look at the actual
I finally started following them.
They're so funny.
It's so funny and so
it's
scary.
Disgusting. So the Twitter account is Incel Pickup Lines, and the handle is @Incel Replies. And they just post like screenshots of weird shit people say to someone that they're hitting on. Because I can't say men because it's not just men.
Yeah, there's femcells on there, which we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to hold everyone accountable who behaves like a fuckhead. But I took some screenshots and we're going to act out some of these conversations.
Our theater kid careers have led up to this moment.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Some of them are just like, it's just one person.
Okay.
You know? Mm-hmm. So we can just go back and forth.
Love this.
So you'll act out this one.
Okay.
And then I'll do the next one.
Oh no, just the beginning of this makes me so sad. Can you give me an action?
Okay. Action.
Hi, this is DoorDash connecting you to your Dasher for updates about your order. 3 hours later. You enjoy the food? Ma'am, you look scrumptious in those pajamas. I would move. What the fuck? What the fuck?
That's the thing I hate about like ordering stuff, like, or getting an Uber if they're weird.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, fuck, they know where I live.
See, I've been doing contactless pickups for like a couple of years now, and it's the way to go. It's the way to go.
I think this is a Facebook status. Does anybody have a woman that I can go on a date with? I'm so bored. Would just be friends. I need a woman to hang out with. Drive me around to the bars. LOL. I'm 38 and like long walks on the beach. Ha 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 ha. Kidding, but serious at the same time. Hit me up. I'm a nice guy. Would be a catch. LOL.
Oh no.
What a sell.
What a sell.
Okay. I'm going to do the intro of this one and you'll do the reply.
Okay.
So I'm author number 1.
Okay.
Who hurt you?
Oh God. Probably a girl like you. Too beautiful for her own good. Expects everything out of her man, then goes to get some behind his back. Then when he catches you, you somehow manage to turn the tables on him and make him feel bad. We just close. He was giving me what you weren't. This is the dumbest thing I've ever read, truly.
Yeah.
Like, what? That reminds me of the ones that are like, you see this girl checking you out. How do you open?
Yeah, I love those.
They're like so ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous.
So this one, I'll be the bad guy.
Okay.
Girl sends a picture. If that's the picture you sent me, I think you and I have run our course.
Okay.
You should have not said okay. You should have said, here's a picture of my fantastic set of tits. When can we get together? You know, try a tiny bit as hard as I do to make this happen. Sir, you're doing whatever the opposite of trying is.
That is like, you're repelling.
Yeah, you're doing negative work. If you want this to work out, you're not doing it right.
You know what's interesting about incels is like, at this point, it's not involuntary.
No.
You're doing this to yourself.
Yes.
You are vicels. Well, voluntary celibates.
How come they can't recognize like, oh, this doesn't work?
Right.
Maybe it's me.
Right. I mean, it's because they all like embolden each other, you know, to say that it's like everyone else's fault.
I want to read this one. I want to be the bad guy. How was twerk? This might be a thinly veiled attempt to see your tits. Maybe not. You decide. And then, like, shortly after, it says, holy shit, wrong person, LOL. Me and my friend were joking about being weird at work. LOL, my bad. I realize that makes no sense. Embarrassed.
Oh my God. It's like, okay, honestly, if I was dating someone for a while and they texted me, how was twerk? This is a thinly veiled attempt to see your tits. I would love that. I feel like, but then if
you liked them and knew them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you were dating them for a while.
Okay.
If you had been with them for a while, that's a great text to get.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I would like that if Mr. List said that to me. Yeah. I think it was funny.
But like,
and flirty.
You know, if like we're not.
No, if you're just trying to fuck someone, that's not how you do it.
It's not how it works.
Okay, you can be the bad.
Oh.
The big bad.
All right. I saw a picture of you yesterday and damn, you're hot.
Thank you. My body is my only complimented feature.
Also, you are face, but you don't take that as a good compliment.
Everyone likes compliments. I just don't want them from you.
I've had enough of trying to be good with you.
Okay.
I've been trying for months and months and nothing.
That's kind of embarrassing on your part, isn't it?
No, it's not. I'm not raised amidst American youth like you to give up on the moment something goes wrong and go search for another pussy to dip my dick in. But I forgot that's how it works in the mighty NYC. Bunch of bollocks. Shut the fuck up.
We hung out together once. Once. There's no way you are this attached to me.
I admit that that's not how it works, but why do you try to shut me down before having the chance to get to know me? That's the part I don't understand.
I have no attraction to you. Why would I continue?
Because you never know how a person has changed in 3 years. You even refuse to at least go out for a coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Then anything you want. It's just an expression. When you just go out and hang out.
This isn't a good look for you, man. Stop begging. It seems desperate.
I'm not begging. I'm asking you nicely. You either accept it or not.
3 years of straight texting. It's begging.
You were not here, so I was supposed to come to the US. You either say yes or no. If you don't want to go out, I'll quit this.
I've said no multiple times, big boy. So no.
Since that's what you want, then no it be.
Good. Find someone new.
You're really interesting. Fare thee well. That is the most annoying fucking... Oh my God.
Those are just the ones I took screenshots of.
I loved the plot twist of it being 3 years ago that they dated.
No, they didn't even date.
They went on one date.
I don't even think they went on one date. I think they hung out one time. Like, maybe it was a date, or maybe they were just, like, in the same social setting. It's like, we hung out one time. There's no way you're this attached to me.
And, like, I feel like when people see conversations like that, or, you know, like, really anything like that, they're like, just block him, or, like, just don't respond. And it's like, these people, like, if they're this persistent, it can be scary.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they can get actually violent, and they have, and they do. These men. I saw somebody posted a picture on Twitter of like, this is why you can't say no to guys or something, and like her car was like all bashed in and like he had like thrown food all over it. Did you see that? It's like, what the fuck? Like, this is what's gonna happen if you like, I don't know.
Yeah, what, you're not even dating and that's how you treat someone for just like not wanting to go out with you? Like, what abusive things will you do in a relationship?
Right. I was at the grocery store and I was picking up flowers for one of my friends and I was waiting for them to wrap them, and this dude was like checking out he was just like buying his groceries, and he was like, hey, and I was like, hi, and he was like, you're beautiful. And it was like, it's a really small grocery store, so it wasn't like, you know, I could just like not respond. Like, everybody in the grocery store was listening to us talk. Like, it was like a small grocery store. And he like reached out to shake my hand. And so like I shook his hand and he was like, are you from here? And I was like, no, but I live around the corner. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, like, you know, me and my guys, like my guy's sitting outside. Like, do you want to like, and he kind of like mumbled. So I was just like, oh, okay. So I was afraid to walk outside, but I was even more afraid of what would happen if I had ignored him, if his friend was just like waiting outside. I hate that shit. I don't want to have to be afraid. So I always hear guys being like, just don't respond to them. It's like, it's not that easy. People get violent, and we're told our whole lives.
I think that's something that they'll never really understand. They'll never know what it's like.
No,
firsthand.
I always ask this question to my male friends: what would you do if you were a woman for a day? And their answer is always masturbate. They're like, I'm just curious what it would feel like. And then my answer, if I was a guy for a day, like I would go on walks at night, I would drive for Uber. I would like
I looked it up recently to see if like orgasms are the same, and they are. So
I think so. Men are like, it just seems like it feels so much better for women, and it's like because we're really good actors.
Also, I think just like how much more often do you make yourself orgasm than like a man? I keep having this thought. It's a tweet I want to tweet, but I don't want it to seem like a dig at anyone, specifically Mr. Liz, but because I had the idea and I thought it was funny. Okay, I'm not saying it's gonna happen to me or directed at him. I wanted to say like women who live with men, when do you find time to orgasm?
That is
when
remarkable.
Can you orgasm in peace? Yeah.
You should
let us know, listeners who live with their partner, when do you find time to orgasm in peace?
That is so you should tweet it. That is so fucking funny.
Well, Mr. Liz and I both masturbate because it is a difference. It's a different experience deciding to masturbate versus having sex.
Absolutely.
Just because I could have sex doesn't mean I want to. Sometimes masturbating, you just are horny and want to take care of it, and not because you want to like engage in having sex.
Sex is just it's work. Masturbating is like, exactly. I'm a little horny, I'm just gonna like come. Sex is like, okay, we gotta like warm up, we gotta like take the clothes off.
Well, especially if you want to take care of the other person, I think that's like where it really comes into play. Of like when I have sex, I have my partner in mind the whole time. I'm not like, sure, yeah, I do it for me, but I'm also doing it because I want them to feel good. Right. So if that's not something I feel like reciprocating, then I'm not gonna like engage in sex. Yeah. Because I'm not trying to fuck just for my own pleasure. So I think that's like the biggest difference between I've never been able to fully identify why I feel that way. And I'm glad that we're talking about it now so I can have that aha moment. Yeah. There you go. You know what? That is the difference between like deciding if I want to have sex versus masturbate.
Yeah. It's a lot less. It's just a lot less work. Yeah. It's a lot less work. You get just one and done. I can get the job done in like a minute. Can't do that with sex.
Yeah. You're like, this is distracting and I'm just going to take care of it. Versus like wanting to take care of another person.
I've Pavloved myself into being horny very specific times of the day if I'm laying in bed. I've Pavloved myself.
I wonder if I've done that. Yeah, because we're both working from home.
Yeah. But sometimes I'll just like take a nap, and like that's usually the time when I get the job done. And I'm like, right when I get into bed to take a nap, I'm like, ooh, I could masturbate. And it's like out of nowhere, I've Pavloved myself. It's amazing. You should pay attention to when you're horny. You might have Pavloved yourself.
I have a few more.
Go ahead. Oh, please.
If you want to act them out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to be the bad or do you want me to be the bad?
You be the bad.
Okay. I'm just going to use your name because this name's crossed out. Okay. Hey, Amelia. It was great meeting you today. I just wanted to welcome you and I look forward to working with you. And then, so that was at 8:12 p.m. And then at 8:51 p.m.
Oh, no.
I guess the other guys were right. You do have an attitude, LOL.
Hey there, thanks for the warm welcome and apologies. My other job starts 4 a.m. and I was asleep when you texted. Have a good day.
Oh, no. LOL. You can work 2 jobs but don't have 2 seconds to text back someone that's being nice to you?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
I appreciate you. That said, texting someone I barely met makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry you're feeling invalidated. No offense.
I was just being nice to you. You come across as someone who likes to be chased. No one wants to be chased. Listen. Okay.
It's a coworker.
Yeah. If you appreciate me, why can't you just reply to me? You're not going to reply for 2 days again, I guess.
I'd like you to please leave me alone.
Oh, well, you're such a control freak. I can decide for myself. Has anybody ever told you that this unfriendly attitude isn't going to help you? No wonder you're single. You're going to die alone.
I'd like you to please leave me alone.
Fucking control freak cunt. I'll do what I want no matter what you want me to. Drama queen. And then, what is this? The next day? Hold on. Sunday. Yeah, the next day he says, hey, about yesterday. I am sorry if you feel I was wrong. Are you there? I know you're there because I can see you working on my floor. Please reply. And then Tuesday, please reply. I don't want a negative work environment. Damn, you should have thought of that before you chose to harass your coworker. Because
what?
You think women exist just to make you horny.
The fuck? I would... To be brand new at a job and already feel uncomfortable like that.
I mean, that did happen to you.
True, damn. But not like, I mean, it's all bad, but not that egregious.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What the fuck? I don't know what I honestly don't know what I would do.
I want you to read this one.
Okay. I'm going to use your name here.
Okay.
Oh God, should I? Hi, Liz. How has your week been? Later on. May I eat your pussy tonight? And then the next day.
Weeks later.
Oh, no, weeks later. Yeah, okay, so may I eat your pussy tonight, December 6th. December 22nd, I'll eat your ass too. He's a giver.
Honestly, I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, you know?
May I eat your pussy tonight? No reply. And weeks go by. He's like, I'll eat your ass too.
Yeah, listen. Don't buy yet.
I will do it. She's like, you drive a hard bargain, lady,
yeah.
but I'll eat your asshole too.
Okay, twist
all
my
right,
arm.
Fine. I'll take the asshole too.
Oh, that's amazing. Good for him.
I'm going to read this one. I am crying. I thought you were a good person. I've never begged nobody like this before. Please. Just a photo of your tits and that's it. Please.
Oh my God. Curtis Connor did a video on these. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, he did a video of incel pickup lines. You should watch it. It's remarkable.
God damn it. I swear. I do love Curtis Connor, but I haven't watched his content lately.
He's incredible. But there was one on there where the guy was like, please, I need to see a picture of you right now. I'm about to die. Like, I just got diagnosed with so and so.
My cat just died. I'm really sad, and I'll only feel better if you send me a picture of your butt.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Well,
I'm a really nice guy. I'm gonna read this one. This dick good, shouty. Ever ride on 8 inches?
Yeah.
Shut up, bitch.
Oh my God.
I mean, she like did the yes and. Yeah.
Yeah. She played.
Shut up, bitch.
That's good improv.
Yeah. But
She
that's
did
all.
the yes and.
That's all I got.
Oh my God, it's amazing. Y'all should follow this Twitter page if you don't.
They're too good.
They're so fucking funny.
I love it.
So after last week's episode, we got an email from someone with an additional tip for our abortion conversation from last week's episode. Hi, Amelia and Liz. I just had one additional tip that I didn't hear you mention in your episode about abortion resources and information. I hope I didn't just miss it, but in case it wasn't actually mentioned in your episode, it wasn't. I wanted to add the danger therapists can pose to women now if the therapist is personally pro-life. Therapists have patient-therapist confidentiality, but therapists have a duty to report legally to protect their patient's life or a third party's. If a therapist is pro-life, they will view a fetus as a life and can use that as a reason to report their patient for things said in a therapy session and not only break confidentiality when forced by a prosecutor, but actively report on their own patient for things said in a session. You may have seen the TikToks talking about this. That's where I became aware of it, but they recommend people ask their therapist if they're pro-choice or anti-abortion, and while the therapist isn't required to answer, no answer or a deflective answer is an answer. I hope this email wasn't too long. It's definitely not. That's really
the shortest email we've ever gotten.
I think you both are great, and your podcast is the only podcast I listen to at all. So kudos on having entertaining, informative, empathetic conversations in every episode.
Oh, thank you for listening.
What the hell?
I actually hadn't seen this pop up on any of my TikToks.
I hadn't either.
Obviously, I'm deep in it. Like,
yeah,
constantly getting information.
Right.
So
no, that's
a good tip.
It really is.
Oh, you know what? Someone also DM'd us a period tracking app that we can use.
Oh, dope.
I didn't open it. I just like saw that we got that message. They said, just listening to Friday's app and wanted to let you know that Stardust app is a period tracker that A, I think you'll both love, and B, is women owned, and most importantly, C, they advocate for the rights of people with uteruses and firmly state that under no circumstances they sell your information, and all data is encrypted so that you will be protected and the government will not be able to access what's yours. Plus, it's kind of sassy and witchy with great branding and graphics, which is shit I so appreciate.
Fuck yeah.
Also, as a Canadian woman who has had to have an abortion, I am horrified at what is going on down there. Horrified. I'm so sorry. First of all, thank you. Grandpa says thank you too.
Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for the condolences.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dope app.
Yeah.
I love that. It was called Stardust?
Yeah. Stardust. So, love that we got that tip.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, because I need to say goodbye to my period tracking app, obviously, and download a safer one, even though I'm in an area that is safe.
Okay, well, we love you.
Our children.